with these more expensive and whittled down therapies that are available in the health and wellness space, like these are really optimizing at a very, very individual and small level where like what the vast majority of people would benefit from is more exercise, more greens, and a more balanced
Sunlight.
lifestyle with less stress and more sunlight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thick Thighs Save Lives podcast. I'm Kelsey.
Welcome back, guys. I'm Rachel. Kelsey's got her sexy voice on today. It's her bedroom voice.
It's my bedroom voice.
A toddler coughed in her eye, and that's how that goes.
I feel like everyone has their kind of Achilles heel where if a cold goes around, like you either get really congested or I get like the whooping cough. Like I always have every time I get sick, it goes like right to my chest, and then it just it's a voice attack.
The little lungs. You guys, we have such a fun episode for you today. We had fun researching this way out of our element. Let's be
So much fun researching this. And honestly, as we started out, I was like so tempted to ask Rachel the results of hers, and we'll kind of dive into what that is. But I was like, almost last night, I wanted to be like, so how you feeling?
I'm glad you waited. No, when we first popped on, you were like, "So what did you think?" And I was like, "Come on, we can't.
I
We got to
prefaced
talk to
that
our
by like,
friends."
preface that by saying like, I know I should wait. How do you feel? I know
So
it's
you
Christmas,
guys,
like, you should wait. The surprise will be better. You should turn on the mics for your friends to hear, but you really just don't wanna know.
I know well, now it's gonna get to be a surprise on air with you guys, because we did a cool thing. We're always trying to stay up on top of the hot health and fitness trends. We've been doing a lot with biohacking lately, and so in that spirit, we both went to get some IV therapy, which was a scene. Okay, we're just gonna call this episode Rich Lady Shit Part 1.
Is unapologetic about it.
The
Like,
things you can do with a lot of money in health and fitness is like,
it's
holy moly.
it's wild because the thing about there's been a lot of discussion about health and fitness and the gatekeeping around health and fitness, when it comes to availability, having money like Equinox, there's been a lot of um, just like segmentation in the health and fitness industry. And when it comes to health and fitness kind of meets like beauty, they really they really come full force at the top here in the amount of different things that you can do in the name of health and fitness, but also while getting like your beauty things in is it's wild. It's wild.
Whoa.
And the IV
And they're
drips are the new like it thing.
they they are very it. It's there's no better it place for where health meets beauty than
Yeah.
in South Florida, because people here do health and beauty like I have never in my life seen. I mean, it's so wild. Just a little shared experience coming from the Northeast. And honestly, it's a hardened place. And the people, the
It's so
people and
hardened.
their appearance, their attitudes, their habits, it reflects that hardened experience. I'm just gonna say it straight out. I'm not gonna say people from the Northeast are not good looking. They are, but they reflect in their features, in their skin, in the way they walk, in the way they talk to you, like just a hardness of like they've been through some shit. Like they've seen some winters, and
They're
it's just so
lacking
different.
sunlight.
It's so different here, and the way people take care of themselves, and the amount of money that people are willing to spend here is it's just so wild. I mean, having lived in both places, is the disparities are so extreme. And like, for example, to get an IV drip therapy, we had our choice of a multitude of places, where I've never ever in my life seen anything like that in Massachusetts. Have you? Like, I mean, I've driven the whole state.
No, I've never seen, never mind just like a plethora of places. I think if it was being offered at some of the, it would be like the specialty thing. Like this is offered in several, I mean, to be honest with you, if we're being honest, moving to South Florida was a trip because just like you can drive by any of these kind of like wellness Botox cosmetic like every other corner. Like
I
it's
mean, this place
very
was in a
it,
plaza next to Just Salad
yeah.
and Trader
And
Joe's.
Trader Joe's. Like it's like, oh good,
Like,
get your Trader Joe's, get your drip, go home. Which I mean, like honestly, in an ideal world, like
I mean, it's
yeah.
amazing.
I mean, that makes sense. That sounds good. So, so we tried it out.
I
Um
mean, not gonna say I didn't try it,
I'm not
because I
gonna say I
did.
try it, I tried it, and I do think that a lot of people have been interested in what these kind of like there's a lot of claims behind them and like what are the effects? There's obviously some science behind it. We're gonna talk about both of those, and some just kind of like what the placebo effect too. Like I feel better now. This went directly into my veins. I have to feel better. um, but I do think that it has gotten enough traction in health and fitness. I know at my gym, we had during the open, we had a guy come in and offer some of these. They were geared more towards athletes, but I was like, "This is a great business plan." He's coming during the open, he's like, "Do you wanna recover better? Come sit down." And,
Wow.
like, offered an IV drip. So I do think that, like, this has not only broken into health and fitness and also broken into kind of some of the beauty stuff that a lot of, um, people are interested in, and just how to advance your health and how we can get some of the edge on the 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 top, like, health things that people are doing to maximize their health.
Yeah, I mean, science is just reaching new heights every single day, and the things that become available are definitely relevant to, talk to you guys about. And I really think that our experience here is going to be helpful in, helping you to make a decision on whether or not you think that this would be a worthwhile thing for you. Um, so I think the first thing we want to do is probably go into what specific drips and services we ended up getting, because obviously we are in two different, very, very different life places right now. Kelsey is in her third trimester of pregnancy. So what was available to her via IV therapy, was a little different than what was available to me. So I
You
think
had
we
the
should
full
first.
menu.
I got the full menu and you got a limited menu.
Yeah,
But one of the
but there is a
things
menu. Like, I just
but there
wanted
is
to
a
say that.
menu,
Like
and what more important time, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, where you might need to supplement some of those things, what more of an important time than during your pregnancy? And a ton of the things that were in your personal IV drip were super beneficial and geared towards pregnancy. So, all right, so why don't you say what you got in your
so my
IV?
so mine was called the New Myers IV drip, And this had so it was a little bit more limited because you'll see with Rachel's that hers has a ton of things in there, and mine was a little bit more limited to vitamins. Um, but I had vitamin C, B complex, and zinc in there. And the idea behind this IV drip was general wellness and to help your body's resilience, basically, like immune system, boost my immune system. So there was oh, sorry, just like 2 times the vitamin C, B
Mhm.
complex, and zinc that was added in there. I was surprised when the zinc went in because if you guys have ever taken, zinc before as a supplement, it is like, it turns your pee yellow. Um, I used to take these supplements on a daily basis. We'll talk about that later, but I had given them to my sister Layla, um, I think because she was traveling, and I felt like she wasn't getting enough vitamins. I was like, here's a pack." I didn't tell her exactly what was in there because I gave her just, like, a couple different things, like, that were very low, like, you're not gonna have any kind of reaction. One of them was zinc, and she was like, "Um, does this turn" and then, like,
Alarm, alarm.
she was like, "What's in here?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, like, your pee might be, um, like really yellow, like, alarmingly yellow." And she was like, "Thanks." I was like, "I meant
That
to
would
tell
have
you a
been
little bit ago."
yeah, that would have been important
I was just,
information.
like,
How
used to it
horrible.
because, like, I know when you take it, especially if you are so if you're pushing something through and your body isn't, like, necessarily needing to absorb all of it, kinda like corn in your poop.
It's
Everyone listening
calm.
is like, "Why right now?
It has
Why?" But
juice.
you're gonna get what I'm talking about, like, if your body doesn't necessarily, like, need the absorption or whatever, it just kinda, like, pushes it through. So, some of these things, like, if you are already and this will apply to your IV drip, so, like, if you already have like, a sufficient amount of some of these vitamins, it will just push it through. You'll pee it out. That'll be an expensive pee.
That's the world's most expensive pee. All right, so
Um
your IV drip, what did it cost?
My IV drip costed $288. Um,
How
and
long did it take?
oh, how long did it take? It took about an hour,
Mhm,
I think. But
mhm.
the overall experience, I mean, we'll both be able to talk about this, but like it's very like I don't do a lot of like relaxy beauty things, so it's always, like, a nice, like, little, like, "Oh, yeah, this exists." Like, they give you a heated blanket, they give you put you in this chair, you get your feet up, there's a, um, diffuser going. I'm a little congested, I couldn't smell if it had a smell to it, but I was feeling like, "Oh, I must be breathing something nice in." So it is a nice, like, experience for sure, and you're just sitting there, like, getting in some vitamins, but it does take quite a bit of time to sit there and just kind of, like, have the IV drip go through.
Absolutely. So, just to kind of go through some of the things that Kelsey got, vitamin C obviously is a probably one of the most well-known vitamins, and I think it's supplemented highly during the winter for a lot of our northern friends. But it stimulates the production of white blood cells and helps protect them. It's an antioxidant property, so it's kind of now she went in sick so, with this cold
Yeah.
that you're hearing.
Yeah, and they do, um, that you have, like, a call with an RN to just kind of like go over your like health history and ask any other questions that they might before they like just like give you an IV. And just kind of like to figure out like which ones. Obviously, I was a little bit limited to which ones I was allowed to take. I think I only had two choices, but there was a menu. There was like a whole menu. I'm talking a menu like you would go to a restaurant. That was the one Rachel was kind of able to choose from. Mine was a little bit more basic as far as like what are some of the basic vitamins that your body would benefit from. Vitamin C, obviously, being something everyone benefits from. B complex was another one. B complex vitamins um, are excellent during pregnancy, especially. Hydration. Um, Obviously, your hydration during pregnancy needs to increase. Your blood volume increases, everything increases. You need more protein. You literally need just need more everything. So hydration is like the number one thing because if you need more of any of those other things, you need water to be able to push it through. So water pushes all of nutrients to your to your baby and to the rest of your body. So hydration is a big one, but B complex IV therapy can help with dehydration and fatigue, which obviously you want to hydrate when you're not feeling well. Skin health is great for B complex. Vitamins can help with collagen production, which improves the skin's elasticity and structure. And zinc is good for a healthy immune system to help fight off infection. So even if you're already not feeling well, zinc is helping you fight off infection. So obviously you want to zinc is one of those things that you do want to take to boost your immune system on a daily basis, but it I mean, a lot of people know this because they kind of um, if you're more in the holistic sense of what like, when you treat getting sick, you take zinc more than likely because it's one of the most common things that, like, if you're, like, a holistic person, you're like, "Alright, I'm gonna have a little more zinc if my immune system is fighting." So, that helps your body fight infection. So, essentially, all of these things should have helped me kick this cold faster.
Yeah, so I mean, between the vitamin C for white blood cells and the zinc, that those were specifically formulated in your IV for you coming in with a cold. And then that B complex was more formulated for your pregnancy needs of, wanting to increase like folate and, all of the fatigue that comes with pregnancy. So it was a specific concoction that was personalized to you, which I liked. Although you couldn't personalize as much as a non pregnant person, you did get a personalized concoction that fit your specific needs at a specific life point that you were going in there, which I thought was really cool. Um,
That
all
also
right,
made me feel a
so
little bit more confident too because, like, you I mean, anyone who has maybe some, like, immune deficiencies, but, like, especially during pregnancy, like, you're careful with everything. Like, you're just going around kind of careful. Like, you're like, "Don't just, like, put lotion on." You just are like, "Well, what's in this lotion?" It's just one of those times where you're kind of, like, looking at all of the things and just trying to figure it out. So it did make me feel more confident as I was talking to, the person who was administering the IV that, like, they knew they were cautious, and that kind of, like, that makes me feel better. I'm like, "You're
for sure.
cautious? Perfect."
For sure. Yeah. No, I think that at this specific place anyways, I think that the level of care was extremely high and it better be for that price.
I
Okay.
know,
So
right?
all right, so that was your drip, and we're going to talk about how you felt and everything. But first, I want to go through what I ended up getting because I had a little bit more options. So I went for it. I tried NAD for you guys. That is
I'm really
incredibly
excited to
hot.
hear about NAD.
NAD is red hot right now because the claims are, I mean, they, again, where health and beauty sort of meet. When you start talking about, you know, help on a cellular level, it's, I don't know. We'll talk about some of the claims, but they're very vast and broad. I got 125 milligrams of NAD plus, and I got it via intramuscular shot. So it was a shot in the butt. I wasn't
Like, they were like
expecting it either.
Let me see that muscle. When she closed the door, I was like, "What's happening in
Well,
there?"
this is what I'm saying. She was like, "Are you ready for your shot?" And I was like, "Okay." And I
Yeah,
like
I
cupped
thought
my arm up, and she was like, "Okay, come with me." And I was like, "Oh, geez, it's a big secret." Okay. And then she closed the door, and I was like, "What is going on here?" And she was like, "Okay, so this is in the bum." And I was like in the butthole or like in, and she was like, "No, it's a shot." And I was like, "Oh, phew, okay." Because
you asked
we've
her in the butthole. You did?
well, she said this goes in your bum. And I just finished an IV therapy. So I was like,
Uh,
wait, is it liquid? Does it go in like in your bum? Like, I don't know. I'm
no, it's a
after I
fair
got done, I went
question.
and sunned my butthole. So I have no limits on the things I'll do for in the name of health and fitness. Um, no, it was a big needle too. It was like I don't care about needles at all, but like it was a long one.
That's
Um,
probably why they put it in your bum.
yeah, because you
You know what
gotta,
I mean? Like,
well,
you're
me
that's
anyways.
they're
No,
definitely
yeah,
putting it
I
in
think
your bum.
it was too long for your arm, but it probably hit the bone. I don't know anything
That's
about
what I'm
shots,
thinking.
so
No, but I do know that those thicky ones, they have to go for the thicky areas. Cause like, look at your arm, like, you just just go right through a bone, like
well, mine not so much, but okay, so I got the NAD plus via shot, and then I also got an IV drip with L-carnitine and B12. That was like a concoction I picked out for myself. The supposed benefits for the L-carnitine are, first of all, that's an amino acid, and it was given for energy production. So it was like, hey, do you want more energy? And like, who would say no? Like, oh, no, thank you. I'll keep my
I'd
energy at
rather
the
not.
embarrassingly low levels it is currently. No, so apparently that specific amino acid transports fatty acids from the bloodstream into the cells. So it makes sure that your fat can be oxidized and converted to energy. So there's also some claims of weight loss benefits. Um, Also preserving your muscle during exercise because your body will be quicker to convert the fat to energy rather than eating up your muscles that you work so hard for, and reducing overall muscle fatigue and effort during your exercise. So, this is kind of a metabolism boosting, energy production kind of addition to your IV therapy. And then the B12 also is supposed to give you an immediate energy boost because it helps convert your food into energy. And then it also has claims to help your sleep because apparently there's some links between B12 deficiency and restlessness and inability to sleep, insomnia. So I'm always looking for a better night's sleep. I'm never saying no to like, you want to sleep better? Yes, ma'am, I do. And B12 also, it has immunity benefits. So I really got the full shebang there. And mine cost $423 between the shot and the IV therapy. So it was a freaking investment. I almost fell over at the counter. I was like, because they don't put the prices on anything. This is like it's like one of the it's like one of the restaurants where like if the prices are on there, you're not supposed to be there. It's like that kind of thing. So I was pretty floored at how expensive all my health was that day. But we did it for you
We really jumped on that grenade for you guys.
guys. You're
I
welcome.
You're welcome. I do, I'm interested to hear more about your sleep after the IV because, I mean, how'd you sleep?
So I want to say this going in, I picked that one in specific because going into the IV therapy, I was having a little bit of my typical standard trouble of the 3 a.m. wake up to worry. I do that in cycles. Sometimes I cannot do it, and sometimes it's prevalent. And at this time that we went, it was prevalent. So I will say we got the IV therapy yesterday. I've had one night sleep in between, and I woke up 5 minutes before my alarm today.
Okay.
which I
So
have
no
not
3
done.
a.m.er?
No, I have not done
Okay.
that in more than a week. So,
Well,
well,
I mean, that's an excellent start to
it
your
was
review.
yes, it was excellent. I also want to just give a little shout out because we did say, the experience and the care was really well. I wanted to just give a little shout out to, we went to a Restore Hyper Wellness. That was what it was called. It was it's so funny. It's like literally positioned in between Orange Theory and Just Salad. So I mean, it's a whole lifestyle kind of thing. They also offer cryotherapy, red light therapy, infrared sauna, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, every kind of facial that you could ever want, and of course the IV and intramuscular therapy. So there's a whole plethora of wellness things that happen at Restore, and it's I'll tell you what,
Restore is a chain too. They're
it is
available
a chain. Hmm.
all over the United States. So like, I was just initially looking into this too, just to see like, is this going to be available for other people? And they have them in multiple locations in almost every state, more in our area. um,
Obviously.
but I was like, "Oh, California, there's, like, a pocket there's, like, a couple pockets where, like, there's, like, a bunch, and, like, California has a significant amount, and then, like, Florida was, like,
Oh,
had a
Southern
s
California, Southern
Yeah.
Florida, probably Austin, like, yeah, there are certainly pockets of the country where people are far, more invested and able
Colorado.
to spec Colorado, mhm. So I wanna get your overall general feeling. Now you have a pretty bad cold going on. And so I think you're a great, I mean, we're going to need a couple more days, obviously, too. But did you feel any relief from any of your symptoms?
So I do think, like, I'm a pretty good case right now too because like I'm not taking anything else. Like I'm not taking any cold medicine or like anything to help me sleep. I was hoping that this was going to help me sleep as well because I have um also goes in waves, but pregnancy insomnia is a real thing.
Yes, it is.
And it's bad. Like, when people go like, "Wait till the baby gets here," I literally wanna throw a chair at them because, like, there have
Just
been
do it.
times that I've woken up at 2 a.m. and then fallen asleep at, like, 6:15. My alarm goes off at 6:30. So, like like, bitch, don't talk to me about when a baby gets here. I've literally been up for 5 hours in the middle of the night. Like, it's silly. Um, and it's definitely that, like, you wake up and you're like, "But I'm so tired. Why?" Like, that's the most frustrating one, but you can't get frustrated because that makes it worse. So I was hoping I was gonna sleep through the night. I didn't sleep through the night. I still had my wake up. Um, I I wasn't quite as restless as I have been in the past, but I definitely still had a wake up that lasted for a couple hours. Um, so I didn't see any improvement in sleep, really. I was pretty tired, like, right after with Ivy, but I just feel like while we were reading stories, I fell asleep on the couch. And I was like, "Well, here we are." A little 10-minute. Um, I don't think, like, if I'm being honest, I don't think that I've started feeling better. Like, I didn't feel better at night, and I didn't wake up feeling like, "Oh, I feel so good." I did pee a lot during the night, which is, like, more than the normal 3rd trimester pee. Anyone who's ever been pregnant knows what I'm talking about. You're like, "How Come on, we can't hold a little bit more than that."
Come on.
Um, Come on. So overall, I didn't see a significant improvement in how I'm feeling or my sleep that I would be like, "Yes, this is part of my, like, regimen, and if I get sick, this is what I'm gonna go do. In the first 24 hours, I didn't see that type of improvement.
That's really good to know. I think that, some of this is going to need to be like we'll wait on it, and some of it is kind of like you'll never know because sometimes you like have a shorter cold duration because of something, but you don't know how long it would have lasted without it. So it's all kind of anecdotal, but I am curious to see because you always do get like the whooping cough and it always lasts so long for you, like
No,
way
it's not.
longer than, a normal. So I'm excited to see if maybe that little boost will help you to not get, that lasting cough that usually comes with like your first cold of the season. So, I mean, maybe we just need a little bit more time on that one. Um, I'll say I slept the whole night, which I haven't done in a really long time. Um, Here's one interesting thing. I thought that I was going to be like peeing like a racehorse. Like I thought it was just going to be like I brought my, my emergency support water to the IV therapy because I go everywhere with it. And I didn't even want to drink it because I was like I can't get up because I have like a needle in my arm. I don't want to have to pee. But I will say I must be the most dehydrated, shriveled little bitch of a raisin because I just peed the regular amount.
You
Like,
did?
yeah, like I didn't, my, I don't, is that bad? Maybe it
No,
just, it sucked it all up and it
no,
needed
but
it
I
all.
do
I don't
think,
know.
like, your I mean, I don't know how your hydration is looking right now, but I I think that should be a little bit of a knock to, like, you had something that literally, like, is hydration, like, into your veins, and you're like, "Well, I don't really need to be that much."
Yeah.
But, honestly, like, I didn't it's not that I pee, like, "Oh my god," like, way more, but definitely more.
Mm. Well, that makes one of us. Um,
Brief interruption to keep you warm this
We
fall and
gotta
winter
we
season.
gotta keep you warm. We're responsible for you and your warmth. And again, winter is coming.
That's so Game of Thrones of you, but I love it. We have several new thermals coming out in some new colors this year. Thermals have been extremely popular for us in the past. They are a staple, a closet staple. I think I have 5 black personally because,
It
like, I
gets
just
weird.
it gets weird.
It gets weird with the thermals because they are such essentials and they're perfect for layering. They're so incredibly soft. These are fan favorites for us and have been for years. If you haven't got your hands on any one of our thermals, you need to. We've got red, orange, purple, black, and brown this year. They are closet staples. You need them to stay warm. So go to Constantly Varied Gear and get your thermals. The other thing is I went into this IV drip pretty sore from Tuesday's workout, which had a significant amount of pressing. And so I was pretty sore throughout like my pecs and my back, my biceps. Um, and I definitely woke up feeling better today. And I didn't do I made sure like not do anything else. I did not get in the sauna. I did not do any of my infrared. Like I like totally did it straight up. Now I know for me that my recovery suffers significantly due to hydration in general. So I'm not
And
willing to
protein.
say, oh, oh yeah, that little thing. Well, the protein can't even go anywhere. Even if I had any, it can't even go
I
anywhere because
know,
there's no
just
water to bring it anywhere. It's just like it's like squeaking along with no lubrication. Um, but I will say I experienced increased sleep, decreased soreness, and I have had an extremely hard time getting up in the morning lately because of my nice 3 a.m. wake up to worry. And I had a much easier time getting up and getting going today. So overall, I definitely have felt the effects of this. Now, I don't know if they're coincidental. I don't know if they're going to be lasting. I'm going to see how I'm going to sleep tonight. But I will say that for me, anecdotally, I I really I enjoyed it. I want to tell this though to anyone who's getting the NAD shot. Like, first of all, the IV therapy is just like sitting there relaxing. You don't feel any different. If you have a problem with needles, obviously you're not going to do this. But I do want to warn people about the NAD plus shot because I was not aware of this going in, but immediately after you get the shot, you feel like a little nauseous and get a little bit of a headache. And that goes away within about 10 minutes. So don't get nervous if you ever do that and have some of those symptoms. I'm sure the nurse will tell you that they're coming. But I like at the outset of getting the shot, I felt way worse. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. But then after those symptoms completely subsided and I felt a lot better. So I just wanted to mention that. Um,
That's interesting. I wonder why that has that, like, immediate reaction in your body, because that's cells, right? Those are
so yeah,
to
well,
to like,
it's a
rejuvenate your cells.
coenzyme. Yeah, it's they categorize it as a coenzyme, and I can go into, some of the sciencey stuff because I did a lot of research on this because it had such high claims. But basically, it plays a really crucial role in your cellular health. And when I was watching all the videos on this, it was so funny because I was like, oh my God, all the things that I wasn't paying attention to in high school in science, they said the mitochondria, they talked about the Krebs cycle, they talked about all of the things that I tried to sleep through. And, unsuccessfully, because my science teacher was like a crazy lunatic and he always like could come and pound on your desk when you went, like started nodding off. But had I paid attention more, I probably would have understood this a little better. But basically, within the mitochondria, NAD plus fuels the processes that support DNA integrity and your cellular repair mechanisms. So basically, what the claims are is that if you increase this NAD plus, then the repair of your cells and the turnover is going to happen better and faster. I mean, if you take that on a really like zoomed out, like basic picture, what we know about cellular health with regards to your overall health, when it comes to cancer, when it comes to environmental factors that can mutate your cells, um, and just the general breakdown of your cells over the years due to aging. This is why I think people are so excited about this because a lot of people are like, fountain of youth type of thing. That if we can increase our cellular turnover and make sure that our cells are staying healthy, um, this is kind of like, what else can we do regarding lifespan if we can increase our cellular health at this kind of level. So, you know, when it comes to like energy and stuff, obviously NAD plus is your like ATP. So it's making the energy in your body. And that's another like big one of the big benefits when it comes to that particular shot is like they say like, oh, this is going to just increase your energy levels like crazy. And that starts on a cellular level, so it's cool. It's The studies need more, um much more, but the preliminary studies and the small amount of studies that have been done, it looks promising.
So the results are out if you'll live longer. You'll have to tune in later to see if the NAD shot increased Rachel's lifespan.
Maybe. I mean, I'll tell you in a few years. Um, I want to say this though, because this incredibly expensive, wellness industry that has been, we've said there's gatekeeping that goes on within health and wellness that is just, it is not available to every single person. And this, introducing this kind of thing and saying, hey, wow, look, these are the benefits and this is happening me feel it's like really great. Oh yeah, and it's like almost $500. Like, what in the hell? Like, it kind of gets to feel a little helpless. I don't know about anybody else, but there is no possible way that this could be part of my regular routine because that's way too expensive. Um,
No, but it
and
is one of those
so
interesting things that, like, have kind of whittled its way into being more accessible because, like, when you think about some of these treatments in the past that some of the stars have been doing or, like, that are just available if people come to their house and they're like, "Oh," they never get hungover because they just get like, someone shows up the next day with an IV bag. And I think some of these things, on a smaller level, like, we didn't know that they had mobile IVs. That was never available when I was in college.
I would have had a lot better time had my mobile IV just drove up after at like the frat party leaves, the mobile
But
IV arrives.
just like, I'm just wondering at some of these, like, higher end colleges, like, maybe that's how it works now. Like, they're just
Damn.
they're leaving and they're just like, "Alright, everyone, get your IVs, we don't
I
get
mean,
hungover."
remember, when we were wrapping up, there was another girl coming in to start her IV therapy. She must have been 19 years old.
That's yeah, that was
Like,
and
bitch, you
and
making your own NAD plus. Like, I don't even have any left. Save some for the rest of us.
I mean, I do think that some of these, like, kind of, like, revolutionary ideas, though, that have historically been available just for, like, a certain subset, even though it's still very much which we highlighted, like, available for a certain subset because this is very expensive. But on the flip side of that, it is in some of these, like, you know, there's just more of them in these areas, um, and they're available to anyone walking in. Like, there was
As
a
anything
members
gains,
and a non-members
that's
price
true. That's
situation,
true.
but there it was available to, like, non-members, which in a lot of places in the past, like, hasn't been the deal.
As anything gains in popularity, um, we're always going to see supply and demand dictate prices, right? So, like, as something becomes more accessible, the price potentially goes down. So maybe this is just in its infancy and we'll see it become more available at a price point that is affordable to more people. I really hope so, because if these benefits are what they say they are, then this absolutely should be standard practice. Like, you go for your yearly checkup, you get your IV bag, like, you know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
get your NAD plus shot, and that is just
Wouldn't that
part
be
of your
cool?
standard everyday medical care. Um,
Well, that would
but I
be
did just want to,
a health and wellness, like, actual that would be like treating.
oh, prevention
Mm,
rather than,
a
yeah,
sick care
that would
system.
be, wow. And like,
Because then we
if
would
you
really be
think of it,
talking about, like, your
far
diet.
cheaper.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
Far cheaper to give everybody their yearly NAD plus intramuscular shot than to treat some of the diseases that can run rampant had we,
Well, we
not
talk about this with
addressed any of these.
with gym memberships and stuff like
Yeah.
as well, and just what you're putting into like your nutrition and how much you're investing in some of that, and it can feel expensive, but nothing is more expensive than being sick. So
It's
investing in your
also
health
not,
while you
health is
have it,
not something you can
it's
buy.
Exactly. Um, but when you think about some of those things and investing in them, I mean, I really try to reframe some of those where when it comes to recovery, because that's kind of where I'll like cheap out. Um, like massages or things like that where I'm just kind of like, I know these are really good for my body, but like, they're it's like $100. Like just kind of get in your head where like you're like, do I really need that? But then when it comes to like how you feel every day and investing in your health is the most important investment you'll ever make. So I'm not saying that in a way to sway you to go get an IV drip today. That's just that's not what I'm personally saying, but as being part of the discussion when it comes to an investment or when it comes to investing in your health when you are healthy, it is always worth the investment.
Absolutely. Don't put that last when you're healthy, because that's never where it belongs. Whether you're healthy or not healthy, it never belongs last on the list. I did want to give some alternative ways in which you can supplement some of these things. Why IV and why intramuscular shots is because obviously when we can avoid digestion, we can increase absorption, right? We know that a lot of people have problems within their digestive systems that are preventing them from taking in these key nutrients, even if they're eating them. However, and that's why IV therapy and IM exists, right? However, all of these things that we named can be supplemented, and there are even some natural ways. So like obviously you heard the benefits of B12, for example. You can supplement that in pill form. It's not expensive at all. It's available at every single CVS in the whole entire country. um, you can supplement vitamin C, you can supplement zinc. A lot of people are supplementing magnesium right now, which has been shown to have huge benefits with regards to sleep. We were talking about sleep a little bit earlier. So
And it's very
obviously,
like it's highly recommended and healthy for every person. Like I know in one of my first um appointments with the midwife that I'm with now that I love, she suggested magnesium. Um it's in like the lotion and stuff that I like use, but obviously taking it before bed is definitely helpful, and it's not something that is like, I mean, we could do a podcast on um what's the sleep aid that I'm trying to think of? My brain is shrunken.
melatonin.
Yeah. We could do a whole podcast on melatonin and the effects of melatonin because they're really some of them are very harmful and actually like it's historically been kind of one of those things like, oh, it's just a small assistance and it's not like going on like sleeping pills or anything like that, but actually melatonin can be very harmful to your system. And magnesium is really just such a lower not even a way lower risk and can have some of the same benefits if you're someone who is taking melatonin and this is your first kind of like red flag to hear that. There's a lot of research out there that is kind of like, get away from melatonin. It's definitely came to my attention because it is not suggested for anyone in pregnancy, which kind of should throw a red flag anyway. You know what I mean? Like if you can't take it during pregnancy, like what's it doing on an everyday basis for every person? But magnesium is a much better supplement to some of those like low dose sleep help.
Yeah, no, it's getting its time too because of the alarming amount of people that are showing deficiencies in magnesium.
Yes. Yeah.
And so just in general with supplements, right? You can get super carried away. However, if you do, like, I'm sitting down right at the IV drip to this giant menu, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, where am I seeing my deficiencies? Yes, would I like to get one of each of these? 100%. But you can do the same thing in the supplement market where you can say, like, geez, I really feel lately that my energy levels are lacking. I really feel that my sleep is, going through some really poor cycles. I really want a boost in metabolism. I feel like my metabolism is really struggling. And likely there is supplementation for any and all of these things, and it may not be right for you. And obviously, absorption is a huge part of it. But with regards to the NAD plus, if you were like, whoa, new cells, I'm into new cells, give me all the new cells. Um, I just wanted to mention that there are a lot of totally free ways. Now you can supplement NAD plus in pill form. You can also do it in like a spray. There's a lot of different ways, but all of those come with a cost. But a free way to increase your NAD levels is to exercise daily, because daily workouts just naturally require your body to produce more NAD plus because it's the energy, it's ATP. So if you're requiring your body to produce more energy every day because it knows it's going to go through an intense workout, then your body will respond by producing more. And like, we see this in so many people who remain
So many
physically
people.
fit late into their life, is you are just slowing down aging. Exercise daily is truly the fountain of youth. And that is if you're really looking at slowing the aging process and the progression of that, and you don't have daily exercise as number one, and we're relying on supplementation and other things, we don't have our ducks in a row.
I mean, I love that. I just I want to highlight that any chance that we can get, because it's that crux. It's that starter where, like, I don't have energy, so I'm not going to work out. And then you, like, can repeat to yourself, like, okay, but I know working out gives me energy. It's like there's so much science to back that up. Like, there's so much that it's not just like any type of placebo effect. We're literally talking about your cells today, and a shot that Rachel got where you can literally get that when you exercise regularly. And it's just it's so important because it's accessible to everyone. It's something you can do. And I'm not even saying like you have to be in a gym. Like, exercise daily, like movement daily, is going to give you 100% more energy. And it's been one of the things that obviously, um, we've committed to for a long time. But looking at like trying to combat some of the excessive tiredness, like at this stage in my life, like, I'm going into those appointments and I'm like, no, I'm not feeling like that tired. I'm having some trouble with sleep, but like overall, like energy levels like during the day are pretty good. My exercise hasn't dropped off. It's consistently giving me more energy and like allowing me to like move throughout the day.
So true. Um, Another way that has been shown to naturally increase NAD plus levels is any kind of heat, because when your heart has to pump faster, it requires more energy from your body to cool it down. And anytime you're requiring more body energy, your body will produce more energy. So that is going to trigger the increased production of NAD, because your body is saying like, "Help, we got to cool down here." So hot tubs, saunas, all of these, anything that, even just going outside on a warm day, is going to naturally increase NAD levels. And also, I just wanted to hit on the fact that your diet is immensely important when it comes to cellular turnover and the health in general of your cells. There are certain like drinks and things, ingredients that claim, kombucha is one of them, that claim to that increase NAD plus levels, but really what you're looking for is like enough greens and enough antioxidants. That is, cell health. And we can talk about, maximizing that, and like, okay, and which, and this kombucha and this concoction and this order. But that's not until the ducks are all in a row, as far as I'm getting the appropriate amount of green vegetables every day, the appropriate amount of antioxidants every day, the appropriate amount of amino acids through like fatty fish and omegas and all of these things. Um, really, those three things: heat, your diet. A lot of people have claimed fasting is a really good way to increase NAD levels, and also in exercise. Those, if you want to do it naturally and for free, you can, and that's the key.
Mhm. Love it. Um, I just want to say, like, some of those additional things, like, when it comes to your diet doesn't have to be perfect. It's not ever going to be perfect. And I really I really want us to, in every podcast that we're going to talk about diet even a little bit, to like step back and think about like your diet's not going to be quote unquote perfect on a daily basis, but when you really step back and you look at the overall picture for the nutrients that you're taking in on a overall basis, that's really where you want to live. You don't want to live in the nitpicky day to day. You want to live in the like overall, is my diet protein, nutrients, like am I getting enough protein, am I getting enough, like some of the fish are like fat, the acid, I mean the omegas and some of the things that we're talking about when it comes to like an overall healthy diet. Or am I eating too much red meat, am I not eating enough, some of those things that you can supplement in different ways, but you really want to step back and look at your overall diet and not just be like, I failed today or I won today. That's when it comes to your diet, like, that's not how it's ever gonna go. Like, you didn't fail the day, you didn't win the day. It's like stepping back and, like, overall looking at it, and how can
That's
we
just
s yeah. How can we
that's
supplement, like, how can we get all of these nutrients in on a weekly basis? Like, because your body isn't working on this, like, 24-hour clock that you think it is. It's just it's working overall. Like, are we getting this type of nutrients in, and are we able to produce the type of resilience that we're looking for from our bodies with those things in place?
I mean, that's the whole thing, right? That's the whole game, is that it's, yeah, one day you can go and get, an intramuscular shot or an IV bag and get feeling better for a week. And then we're right back there again if you are not taking
And the
correct
grass in your
care.
house is on fire.
So, I mean, that, and I really
But if you're
think
feeling
when,
low and you want a kombucha, you can you can totally do that.
sure, absolutely, but I just want people to understand, with these more expensive and whittled down, you know, um,
Carbs.
therapies that are available in the health and wellness space, like, these are really optimizing at a very, very individual and small level, where, like, what the vast majority of people would benefit from is more exercise, more greens, and a more balanced
Sunlight.
lifestyle with less stress and more sunlight. It's just, I mean,
Those are it right there.
that's yeah, so if you're looking for a place to start, that's the place. If you just won the lottery, then go ahead and book your IV
Tried
therapy, because
it.
it was a really nice experience. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
I did feel some benefits, but I definitely, definitely do not think that it is the be all end all. I just want to put out there that if this is not within your range, um, it's cool, boo boo, because we got a lot of other options.
Definitely. All right, guys. Hopefully, this was helpful to you. If you're going to try it out, let us know. Or if this has been kind of like a talk in your circles, um, let us know because this was our experience. This was what we went in, what we can, what we, the type of IV drops or drips that we got, and how we left feeling. But you might have a different experience, or you may know people in your circles that are like swearing by it, and they're like, this is incredible for me. Um, so I'd love to hear those experiences too, because I definitely know this is been some talk in my circle, and some people are really excited and passionate about it. So we want to hear from you guys, but we love you. Have an amazing week.